Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Whatever time you're watching this video, we thank you for watching the Student-Athlete Playbook Video Segment. I am Barry Brown, author of the Student-Athlete Playbook, the Amazon bestseller, Success in the Classroom, Sports and Life. And I'm right here in Morrow, Georgia, right outside of Atlanta, Georgia. Matter of fact, grew up out here at the high school level. Shout out to the Morrow High Mustangs, 1987 Georgia State champions. Listen, I'm here at the Junior Liberty Bowl. Shout out to Ace Carney, his wife, the whole staff, doing a great job with these young student athletes, ages from 3rd grade all the way up to the 8th grade. And man, we're having a great time here, man. They're learning about the game of football. We had a parent symposium yesterday that was outstanding. And these kids did a combine. I'm talking about a real combine. They put them through some work. Did a major draft this morning. And man, they will be playing games on Saturday. So listen, Junior Liberty Bowl, outstanding. This is my first experience in this combine, all-star type atmosphere, and I love it. But right at this moment, I'm standing here with a man, you may recognize him already, but when you hear his voice, you're definitely gonna recognize him. His name is Kennie Long. Kennie, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing good, sir. How about yourself?
I'm doing wonderful, man. Thank you. Thank you for taking this time out to be with us.
Oh, you're welcome. Anytime.
Yes, sir. So now, if you didn't recognize it from his voice right then, let me tell you exactly who he is. This is Kennie Long, the voice of Friday Night Tykes. That's right, the Esquire TV show about Little League football based out there in Texas. Amazing TV show, 4 seasons. I think I watched every episode, I believe, Kennie. So that's who I knew who you were when the kids were running up to you yesterday and asking you about the different players. I'm like, man, that's Kennie Long. So very honored to have him on the Student-Athlete Playbook Video Segment today, and I hope you enjoy this interview. So let's jump right into it, Kennie.
Sure.
Kennie, Friday Night Tykes, National Youth Sports Radio. That's his radio station, his radio network, where he does an outstanding job. So definitely check that out. But Kennie, tell our viewers, what was your experience like on Friday Night Tykes?
You know, the experience on Friday Night Tykes was something that, unless you've been involved in a reality TV show or any kind of film segment where you're doing multiple shows, multiple segments, it's very enlightening. There's a camera in your face 24/7. There's a microphone strapped to you 24/7. And if you don't have one strapped to you, there's one of those big old boom mics that you see every once in a while that sneak into a film. They're always around somewhere. So it's very intrusive. For somebody who does radio, there's a reason why I don't do television. You know, but I enjoy radio because no one has to look at me. All you got to do is hear me.
Yes.
But it was fun. I mean, I enjoy the kids. I always enjoy watching the kids perform, talking to the kids, even some of the parents that I get to talk to. Great conversations. It's just, it was an intrusive event, but it was fun, and I think it really brought to light a lot of things in youth sports that needed to be brought to light.
I got you. Yeah, it definitely showed and highlighted the behind the scenes that no one ever saw about how kids are being recruited, how teams just on their own, how teams break up and then coaches go to different programs, the whole nine. So yeah, it gave us a lot of great insight, man, a lot of great insight. So this stand, you see the background here. Now, the Student Athlete Achievement Program, Youth Education and Sports table is right next to this. So when we were setting up yesterday, I'm watching all the kids run up to Mr. Long. Oh, Mr. Long, boom, boom. They asked him about the show, and then they start asking about all these players that were on the TV show. So, Kennie, who are some of the most asked about players from the Friday Night Tykes franchise?
Well, easily, and it happens anywhere I go. The one person they always ask me about is Mizell Miller.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
What's Mizell Miller doing? How's Mizell Miller? Is he still playing? Because a lot of these people watch the show, they're watching it on Netflix and syndication now. They're looking at Mizell as still being in that youth age group.
Yes, that's right.
Mizell Miller's in high school. I believe he's a sophomore now in high school.
Okay.
He's on the varsity squad. From what I understand, he'll be on the varsity. He was moved up last year during his freshman year.
I got you.
During playoffs. He plays on one of the powerhouse teams in San Antonio, the Judson Rockets. You know, he's doing good. He's had some injury issues, but he's been working through it, and I think hopefully this season maybe he'll get on the field and put that talent to use that we all saw on the show. The other one I get asked about is Lucas Coley.
Oh yeah.
Lucas Coley is a junior this year.
Okay.
He is not officially, but in all intents and purposes for us media types that cover high school football in the state. He will probably be the starting quarterback for the Jetson Rockets, so he'll be with Mizell.
So wait a minute, Mizell and Lucas on the same high
They're
school team?
both on the same team.
Oh my goodness.
As a matter of fact, I believe I think remember Juju Thomas.
Oh yeah, I remember Juju. Yeah.
Juju plays for Jetson, I believe, as well.
Now, what position do they have Juju playing? DB or is he
I
playing
think,
offense as
I
well?
think Juju's more along the defensive back. If he's
Okay,
doing any offense, he's probably in the second string.
I got you.
But I think
starting on defense.
defense.
Oh no, yeah, I remember Juju Thomas.
Yes.
Yes.
Another one that some people ask me about, or some people actually have forgotten about, but this is a kid that has always been on my radar, and he still is. The Mission Mustangs, Jeremy Duran.
Yes.
What a fantastic quarterback he turned out to be at the youth level.
That's right.
Went through the middle school level, and then he, as a freshman last year, became the starter for his varsity squad and led them to the playoffs for the first time in many years as a freshman. So clearly he will be starting as a sophomore.
That's right.
Down in the Rio Grande Valley. I forgot what school I think it's Mission High School.
Mission High School. Okay.
But he is doing a fantastic job as well. And I think a lot of the training that those kids got for the TYFA, the Texas Youth Football Association, it really helped and brought them to the forefront, in the sport. And the other thing that's great is, the academic side of it as well. Yes. I mean, Lucas Coley is actually supposed to be a sophomore, but I've spoken to his mother several times, and she's told me he actually tested up and is now a junior.
So he skipped the grade.
He skipped a grade.
Unbelievable. That's what I'm talking about. You already know Student-Athlete Achievement Program, Youth Education and Sports. We're all about academics. We're all about character development. And these young men that Kenny is talking about are outstanding young men on and off the playing field, and this is the result of it.
It is
unbelievable.
And I'm a big advocate for the education side. I have other ventures that I'm doing as well with Blue Gray High School All-American.
Yes.
And I'm being paged right now while I'm being interviewed.
Right. Right. And that's Ace Carney yelling out here. The man with the printer, and he wants us to retake the video, but we're gonna keep on rolling. Yeah.
Welcome to reality television.
That's right.
But no, it's the education piece is very, very important, particularly as these kids are looking, not just so much to play football, but just to continue the educational process up to the second level, to the college level.
That's right.
This is where they can get that paid for free.
That's right.
By their play on the field, but also their academics in the classroom.
Exactly.
So it's a huge piece.
Exactly. You heard it yourself, right, from Mr. Kennie Long, who's seeing some of the best high school players in the country, based out of Texas, the state of Texas, by far. Now, Kenny, as we conclude, I gotta ask about the National Youth Sports Radio. Tell our viewers, because we have parents, coaches, athletic directors, student athletes themselves watching this video. Tell us about your radio network.
Well, NYSR got started because of Friday Night Tykes. There was such a demand. People wanted me to come to do events like the Junior Liberty Bowl. Yes. I've been here in Atlanta before covering the Gridiron Classic Series. I've been to New York, North Carolina, Oklahoma,
Excellent.
All kinds of different youth football events. And they wanted me to do the play-by-play and cover it on a radio station. They were always thought about TYFA radio.
Right.
TYFA radio is specifically for TYFA. So I created NYSR in order to be able to accommodate this kind of operation, and it's been a thrill to do. I mean, I've talked to a lot of people from around the world.
Yes.
I've had listeners. I've done events where I've had listeners as far as Sweden.
Wow. Wow.
So
Impressive.
It's been a lot of fun. NYSR National Youth Sports Radio. You can find it on Facebook.
Okay.
I did have a website. I let it go because it was costly.
I got you.
So I'm looking at replacing that. But I work mainly off of Facebook. You can follow it on Twitter at Kennie Long NYSR, but Kenny is spelled Kennie.
That's right. Kennie Long. Long.
So at Kennie Long NYSR. I also have my personal Twitter page is at Kennie Long Radio.
Excellent, man.
You know, so you can follow anything that I'm doing there for NYSR. If I'm doing an event, I usually post a lot about it, you know, that I'm headed there, when I'm there, and of course, as I'm here, I'm taking all kinds of pictures, I post them all over the place.
Excellent, excellent, man. Excellent. I mean, like, I've seen you in that. I've seen you on the TV show. I've seen you in action here at the Junior Liberty Bowl, the 2019 Junior Liberty Bowl here in Morrow, Georgia, right outside of Atlanta, Georgia. And so, Kenny, as we finish up the interview, a lot of student athletes want to go to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
But they, you know, everybody starts when they're little. You know, we talked about it off camera.
Mm-hmm.
What would you tell a parent, a coach, a teacher, an athletic director, the student athletes themselves, of course? What would you tell them about developing into the person they want to be, and then, of course, the student athlete that they want to become, and eventually a pro athlete, or whatever they decide to go professional in? Because 9 times out of 10, young people, you're going to become pro in something else. So what message do you have to send to
You know, the
everyone?
biggest message I would give parents when it comes to their kids, you know, and we've seen it here. You're going to see it Saturday and Sunday. We celebrate our kids' athletic accomplishments like they just won the Heisman Trophy, like they just got picked #1 in the NFL draft at the age of 8. Celebrate their educational goals the same exact way. You've got to instill in these kids that school is just as important as what you're doing on the football field, on the basketball court, on the soccer pitch, on the baseball diamond.
That's right.
Whatever, you need to celebrate both at the same time. Because if you don't, where the kids are always going to gravitate where they're getting the most attention.
Yes.
And if you're giving all the attention to what they're doing on the football field, what is there going to be their focus? Everything that has to do with football. I don't need to do homework because I'm going to score touchdowns.
That's right.
Okay. Well, that's all great and good here in the youth level. But when you get up to the middle schools, you can't play if you don't pass.
Exactly.
And that's where they start to get lost.
Yes.
And you know, parents start to lose control of the kids. They start to lose their attention. If they get them early at the youth level, and it's great. We've got some fantastic athletes. I can't tell you the number of kids that I've seen that I totally expect to see in Division I college football right now.
No question.
But celebrate and push those academics, because they will never get to that Division I college level if they don't have the academics.
That's right.
It's a huge piece of what you're doing here is just fantastic in that aspect.
Thank you, Ken.
It's something that it needs to be pushed. Yes, there's a lot of things as parents that we have to pay attention to and start that process now. This is what you want for your kid. It starts now.
That's right. That's right.
But that education has got to be #1.
Excellent. Excellent. I love it. I couldn't have said it any better. So listen, you heard it right here. Mr. Kennie Long, voice of Friday Night Tykes, the man behind the National Youth Sports Radio Network. We're here in Morrow, Georgia, right outside of Atlanta, Georgia, at the 2019 Junior Liberty Bowl. And man, we're going to continue to impact youth in a very positive way. Hey, thank y'all for watching the Student-Athlete Playbook Video Segment. And stay tuned for the next great interview. One love.